Good evening and welcome to the Sanborn Regional School District Finance and Facilities Subcommittee. I will call the meeting to order. It is 5 o'clock. We have here this evening myself and Rick Edelman from the subcommittee. Micah will be joining us in a little bit, but we have a quorum, so we will move forward. Let's begin with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. I am going to table the approval of minutes. Since I was not here, I was going to abstain. And so without Micah, we can't move those. All right. On to new business. Financial remarks, Maureen.
Okay. CPI still hasn't changed. They haven't updated it. So it's 3.1 as of September is, again, we're still. The encumbrances through November 25th, again, nothing out of the ordinary. December 9th operating cash, sorry, I'm flying because we're trying to do this.
No, please.
$1.9 million. And then
let me pause you really quick.
Yeah.
So for the public, if you are watching, the reason we are flying is there was a change that was thrown at us. The BudCom will be meeting at 5:40, which we need to be present for that. And so this is now an abbreviated meeting. So that's why we are moving quickly. Please,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so the trust fund balances, I just received my reconciliations yesterday through November 30th. Excuse me. The special ed expendable trust fund earned just over $2,000 in interest last month, which gives us a total of $639,198. The capital improvement reserve fund earned about $1,600 in interest, which brings us to $482,877,000. The unanticipated education expenses fund earned just under $1,000, which brings us to $290,037.15. And then the unanticipated utility cost was $650 in interest, and that brings that fund to $196,565. And we received rental income from November for SLC and SEA, and the revolving fund has $318,494.
Sorry, can you say the facilities use revolving fund one more time?
$318,494.57.
Okay, because I'm looking at the old number prior to the rental income hitting it. Got it. Thank you.
That was November's.
Yep.
All of these were updated through November 30th.
Got it. Thank you, Mary. Okay. Rick, any questions on those?
No, I'm sorry, I had to show up there.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
And then we had one budget adjustment, which was number 40, and that was to transfer monies for other professional services to cover deficits for outside evaluations for special ed in the total of $182,928.15. So we reduced some salary, FICA, and benefit lines and put the money into other professional services to cover those.
Okay. I get a motion on that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. Well, I asked a couple questions. So yeah, I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I will second discussion.
Yeah. So we're pulling money from salary, FICA, retirement, and like new equipment lines. So is this something we're going to see every month?
No, but we can't hire all the employees for special ed, so we're just trying to find money where to move it from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's just an unusual year here.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I've never seen that many contracted service employees. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay.
We need our students to start going to school to teach. And that's it on my end.
No, I'm all set.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then all those in favor? All right. Unanimous. So that will pass. And then we get out of this. Okay. On to the Bakey rooftop heat unit.
Okay, so I got a bid already from our company that does our preventive maintenance on there. The bid came in at about $100,000 to replace that rooftop unit. I think there's a couple discrepancies maybe in the unit they want to put up there, but I'm getting more bids from E&E and Siemens as far as replacing that unit. So they're to come hopefully by the end of January, and we need to replace that unit. The problem we're having is I thought we could go to some type of alternative form of heat in there, but when you turn on those exhaust hoods in that kitchen, you're creating a negative balance and it's sucking all that air out. And by code, we can't do that. So we need to put a rooftop on there that will supply as much air as we're pulling out of there. So we're not creating a fire issue. So we're still checking that out. Now I'll let you know more about that in the next meeting. Okay, so we're about 100,000 right now. That will probably change.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
the only rooftop unit.
That's the only one on Bakey, correct?
And you hope to have the bids by the January meeting?
Maybe mid-January, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I can only go as fast as the
Didn't we
contract.
talk, didn't we talk about wasn't there a problem besides that, like going reversing that from the wall?
Yeah, we're changing the bearings in it every couple months just to keep it going.
Yeah, okay.
But since the dollar amount, obviously we gotta
And
do our
that's,
due
how much is
diligence.
that, just for the public?
It's about $400 or $500 every couple weeks just to keep the thing going,
Yeah.
you know, but eventually it's gonna shatter and we're done, so. All right, so that's that in a nutshell. We'll move on to old business. You want me to keep rolling here?
Yeah, are you gonna take it right? Yeah, you've got it right.
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna
just work your way
kind of
through.
go out of order just to speed things up.
Yeah.
The Bakey alarm systems, they put the panel in this week and they're gonna start working on it over the Christmas break and the vacation break. So that's rolling.
I saw the message from the principal. That was great.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
High school gym roof, tomorrow, we're supposed to have it all waterproofed in and probably about 3 more days of work with doing the metal work and everything else.
Okay.
Kind of delayed on that one because of the weather and the snow and the wind and everything we've had, but they're moving right along on it. Looks great.
Okay. Good.
SCA, SLC response to the LED lighting, they're all on board with it, so they're approving it through their school administrators and everything right now, but I think there'll be no issues.
Meaning the project that the school board has already approved for all the schools that Siemens is executing.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
They're on board with their portion of paying.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, so we're good there.
Fantastic.
The fee structure for our facility, I think we ought to table into the next meeting.
Yep.
It's because that's going to take quite a bit of discussion and the capital improvement for the next meeting. Palmer and Sicard, our contractor over at Bakey that handles our HVAC. We're having a problem with our boilers. What's happening is they're drawing in a lot of oil to fire up those boilers. When they fire up together, they starve the boilers and they go out on us. So the way to fix it is to put in a pump system, which is the cheapest way to do it, to pump oil and keep positive pressure in those fuel lines. So when they fire up, they got fuel and they're ready to go. We've put in a couple different devices, hoping it would resolve the problem. It didn't. So we're looking at putting in a pump system. Their bid came in at $12,989.
And where is this been? Yeah.
Where's what?
Which school?
Bakey.
At Bakey. Okay.
And
Um,
That's a new boiler, correct?
They're new boilers, yeah, and new burners.
3 years old, I think.
They were put in just right at COVID, so.
Nothing's
3-4
covered under any sort of warranty because
No,
it's not tied
no.
directly to it or what?
Right, because obviously the engineering firm we hired to do it, I think, kind of messed it up and didn't properly take in consideration that the fuel that those things were consuming during fire up was much greater than what the pipe can handle. So there's a couple ways we can do it. We can put in a belly tank, which is a lot more money, or an actual day tank. And when you start talking money like that, you're talking close to $100,000 for a day tank. Plus, you have to put in a reservoir around it, and it has to be certified, and it's a big mess. So this is the cheapest route we can go, and it's basically what we have here at the high school. We have a pump system that keeps those positive pressure within the fuel. What I want to ask from you guys is, I don't want to go to multiple bids on this because of the sensitivity on it. And Palmer Sicard is our contractor that maintains it. So I'm asking permission to go ahead with the project at $12,989 without getting more bids.
What is the,
Our threshold's $10,000.
right now, what is the urgency?
Well, the urgency is they go out at night when they're both fire on. So I have to send a guy over there every Saturday and every Sunday and fire them back up and keep them going. Because when we show up in the morning, they usually go out at night, so I want to keep that system from starving during the night. Because during the day, when it goes out, we just push the auto button and it refires again.
Right,
So we're manually turning them on.
okay. And what is, so what happens during the week? You said you send somebody over there. on
I
the
either go
weekends.
over there on my weekend or.
No,
whenever.
the weekdays. You said you send somebody on the weekend. What
Yep.
happens during the weekdays?
Well, I have an engineer there that's there all week, so
Yeah.
he checks on them every couple hours and make sure they're running, basically, is what's happening.
Okay.
So I really want to get this rolling though, and if you want multiple bids, I can get multiple bids, but it's just kind of delaying the process. And like I said, Palmer's Card is our preventive maintenance contract is with them anyways. So my thought is they're probably in a good price right there because they're giving us a reduction on prices because we have a contract with them. So.
So there,
You're not gonna like my thought, so.
no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say, like, that's our policy, and this is not the year to be, like, I think.
All right, I'll get more bids. That's,
Yeah,
I don't want to
we
waste
need
more
to-
time,
yeah.
so, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get more bids on that.
And I agree.
Yeah, and then, like, it's not, I trust your
Yeah.
judgment.
Yep.
But that is our policy, and we have to take it to the rest of the board.
No, I get it. I just,
Yep.
for the sake
Yep.
of spending
I
manpower
appreciate
there
you
on the
bringing that
weekends.
No,
to
I
us
get
like
it,
this.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
The Bakey rooftop over there, like I said, we talked about that already. Yep, so we're done there. The fire alarm system here at the high school with Johnson Controls. So you asked me to, get a bid on that for updating it. The update is gonna cost $13,906.
And the last
It's-
time it was updated was years ago, right?
Yeah, and I asked those questions. So the last time was updated was January 31st of 2012. I asked them, how often do we need to have these updates? And they said, well, as they come, major updates, we'd have to do that. And I said, well, are you expecting any? And basically they said, until we have a flaw in the system that we know about, they don't know of any major updates. So typically, it sounds like every 10, 12 years, they're updating their software. It's not a dire thing. I would like to do it, if not this year, but maybe after July 1st in the next budget year, if we need to. But,
What do we have, like, what are the updates? What is the update? What's it doing?
it just updates the communication within the panel. A lot of notification stuff that takes place within the panel. So that's,
Yeah, it's been 13 years.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't
and
be
unfortunately, I
opposed
can't
to
get multiple bids because
updating
it's
it.
proprietary, it's Johnson Controls.
Yeah, there's no, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 13 years since it's been updated, so I wouldn't want to have a problem and us now know that it's 13 years since we've done an update
Yeah.
to the system.
So I just want to know if you want to move forward with it now, or do you want to?
I'll make a motion to move forward with it.
Okay.
As presented.
I'm just trying to read through this. Okay. I'll second that.
Okay,
Any discussion? I think we just had it.
okay, then I'll get them on that to get going there. I also want to talk about putting another line item in the budget for custodian fees for organizations that are sponsored by the school, but we'll table that for next time.
Do you have any
also.
other jokes for today?
No, I have none. I have no sense
If
of
you're adding
humor.
line items, I mean, come on, bro.
No sense of humor. So, and I'll explain in depth in that,
Yeah,
in
no,
depth
I'm
why
okay.
we want to do that. Okay, so with all that being said, we'll go back to Siemens now. If you want to give us a rundown on the rooftops and the status of those and how you can help us out with doing that project
For Vicky or for?
for this school,
For the school.
for this school.
You wanna kick off?
Well, so last time we met, we talked about how, there was 2 projects, auctions here. The equipment is coming up on 20 years or a little over 20 years. You were asking Dan to come back with some maintenance costs. I think he presented those to you. So we're basically here today to say that we're still prepared to give you a not to exceed number if you do want to try to go for a warrant article this year. And that, Ava, you had sent over a project development agreement.
Yeah.
That would go along with that. So we're kind of here today to discuss that project development agreement. It doesn't mean that you need to do a warrant article. We just want to be partners in this endeavor with you guys. So a project development agreement would help us shake hands and say, we're gonna do this in the future. It doesn't mean it has to happen this January, but I'm here, I can talk to you about how long equipment takes to order, how long engineering takes. We're really in a position to get this developed for either this summer or next summer, if we start now. This summer would be start now. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of a summary.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I would also add that it's scalable, so if there's only 2 or 1 or 3 or 5 units that you want to address that Dan's found are in critical failure mode or very close to it, that, you know, the engineering is scalable and we can either plus or minus to whatever. Project development letter to span over 10 years, I think it was. So the engineering is not going to change, it's not going to expire. And the letter just states that, you know, if anything does change, it'll be a part of the project and we'll figure out how we can absorb that so that it doesn't come back to the school. So, but it won't, but still, just to cover.
Yeah, do we need to go through the project development, like the T's and C's of it, or I guess we'll just leave it for what the questions are from there?
Was this discussed last week when I was not here?
No.
No.
Do we have a copy of it?
Yeah, we do. I believe
Yeah,
we do,
yeah,
yeah.
I gave it to you at the last meeting
Oh,
to get to the gentleman. So.
I didn't
Just
realize that.
kind
Yeah,
of.
we got a copy of I had a copy of the agreement. We had the last meeting, yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to what we did with the
Yeah.
lighting. Okay.
Just kind of want to bring up to your attention, like RTU3 on our rooftop. We had a coil that broke in it a week ago. They had it repaired. It flooded the second floor of this building. It was a mess. We fixed it. Next day, 3 more holes in the coil. So
In
those
a
are
different one.
same unit.
Oh.
So those are the things we're chasing. Now, these coils are the size of they're 6 foot by 6 foot. They're huge. And when you start replacing coils, you're at the point where you might as well just start replacing the rooftops. So what I did is I checked the pH in the water. We're at 7.6, which is pretty good for water. It's not very acidic, which is good. And it's good to have a little alkaline in the water because it does kind of coat the inside of the pipes. But when you do that, you start getting the minerals to precipitate out of the water. And I think what's happening is those minerals within the water are etching the inside of the pipes. And when you look at those coils, they're thin-walled copper pipes. So I think this is the beginning of what we're going to be dealing with all these rooftops, with these coils starting to develop pinholes in them and leaking. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So I just want to bring that to your attention that we're starting to get the problems now. And in my opinion, I think it'd be good to get an engineering study done on this. So if I got to pull at least 1 or 2 off the building, we're set engineering wise to do it, and we can act quickly on it because it will probably take 12, 14, 16 weeks to get a rooftop unit in.
Yeah, so HRU 3 is 10 to 12, which would, if say March is when the yes is given, then that brings us to a June delivery. And you need the building to be unoccupied too.
And those are heating units, so if it goes down, then we don't have heat in that whole wing. So that's kind of what we're up against right now. That's why my concern for this.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The other thing I would just add is that the project development agreement is not something that gets paid for. Like it's a sign off. It's basically like calling and saying a handshake that you're going to work with us or continue the relationship in addition to the lighting and building envelope project. So, whatever the dollar figure is not something that will come out of your capital spend. It's just in the
It gets
event.
rolled into the project at the end.
Right. And we don't advertise this, but in the event that we give you the study, we give you our findings, analyses, whatever, and you decide you don't like them or you don't agree with what,
You don't want to do it with us, you want to do it, you own the engineering.
you can take our,
At what
pay our
cost?
break fee.
It's
So
100,
that,
it's $100 and some thousand.
to do the engineering.
So nothing goes to the taxpayers at this stage until you do whatever kind of project that you do.
So I am struggling to figure out what has changed since the last time we discussed this, and we asked you to come back with a monthly/annual
Yeah.
cost.
of what we were paying to limp these things along.
Right.
We looked at that cost and we said,
It's $100,000 a year.
for right now, this is what we are willing to absorb.
Right.
And we think the taxpayers would agree on.
Correct.
So what has changed since that conversation to today that I'm not aware of?
Well, the issues with RTU3, first of all, okay, and we're seeing these holes that are developing in the coil.
Yep.
So that has happened since the last meeting. And I think we need to be in a position that if we have to replace a unit, we're on it quickly, because the time of ordering a unit and getting it on the rooftop could be critical, especially during the winter months. We could be in a position where we're shutting down a whole wing of the building because there's just no heat. That rooftop unit controls that whole 100, 200 hallway.
I'm sorry for
So-
late arrival, if you already talked about this. What's the cost to just replace the coil with the pinholes?
Well, I'm getting numbers together on that also, but they're talking probably about 150,000 right there just to replace the coils in those units because they're so large.
And then, like,
Wait, when you say those units?
Yeah.
rooftop.
The
Yeah,
rooftop
no, I
unit,
mean, in all of them,
each one
each one at
Per-
150.
per, yeah.
That's a big.
How much is the whole
unit.
thing?
How much for the whole thing?
How much is it a new unit? We talked about this last time.
Yeah, they're a couple $100,000 to replace. I don't know.
So it's mostly coil and then some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's motors and things
It's a
like that.
fan.
When you're at
Yeah.
15 plus years and it's replace coil, then it's probably replace unit. You don't replace a coil if it's 15 years. I mean, that's what I've, the research I've done. You guys can correct me. 15 plus, you should be,
If this was an
Doing the whole
indoor
thing.
air
you're throwing bad
handler,
money on or good money on a bad.
Yeah.
yeah. If it was an inside air handler, you would replace the coil, not the whole thing, but. It was a tough unit.
We should start calling them coils now.
Yeah, I mean, logistically, it's a big project because, you bring in a coil, you gotta hire a crane once again to do all that work and, there's a lot of redundancy just changing a coil as.
Versus doing the whole thing. Right.
Yeah, this is preparation. This 100,000 is to be prepared when you need to replace these.
And as far as I mean, like, we have to confront the reality that these things are going to need to be replaced, either altogether or one by one, right? And this $100,000, as far as I can tell, is an unavoidable cost. Like, we can't go up there with a new unit, throw it on the roof and hope.
No, yeah,
Right,
even
we have
if
to
we
do
don't
it.
go with Siemens, we would have to hire a company that's large enough that could do it, like E&E is our provider now here. And they basically told me, we're not bidding on it, it's too large of a job for us. This is where you need bring in a big general contractor with engineering studies and everything else. And this is where Siemens can step up because they are a large corporation and can handle that.
Yeah, we're taking on like the upfront costs for you and then you have to do the job with us.
Yeah, and so rolling the $100,000 of the engineering study into the actual cost of whatever the project is, delays and potentially spreads the 100,000 over.
Right. And if they're willing to work with us for the next 10 years, I could
Right.
probably guarantee in the next 10 years, we're probably gonna be replacing pretty close to all of them up there.
So
I
talk,
think- I'm sorry, I think last time your concern was the project development agreement.
Yep.
Was stipulated like a term.
Right.
But that's what you wanted further discussion on.
right, so that's what I was gonna ask. So what has changed with that?
The 10 years, it says,
Talk me through that if you don't mind.
yeah, oh, sorry, you read probably the document, but it says
Yeah.
in there's a date like 2035.
Okay.
If you don't do a project with us at any time before that date, you would pay us the $100,000. And,
Specific to the rooftop
yeah, not a
units.
lawyer, but so, but
Yeah.
the original
that's
one
the
was
general.
stipulated.
10 years, correct? The
Correct.
original
original
one did
one
not.
did not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's why I was a hard no.
Right.
Right,
Yeah, because like if we don't have the money and the taxpayers don't want it, like,
Yeah.
we're on the hook for $100,000 immediately.
yeah, basically says Siemens will deliver you the engineering for the 15 rooftop units. If you don't want to do it with us, you pay for the engineering.
No,
If
understand.
you do want to do it with us. we'll
What if we
cover it.
don't do all 15 at one time though?
That's fine. That's why she
And
said.
And I understand that it makes sense to do more when you have a crane here and everything.
Yeah,
We get that.
And I
And
don't
there's
know
an
how,
efficiency with buying it, there's a percentage, and you, obviously, anything you buy, the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. So buying more rooftop units, they will reduce the price per unit.
There is going to be a concern from others that, so if you just said, if we don't do all 15, not a problem. That sounds like a great handshake deal between Jeremiah and Ava sitting here, right?
Sure.
How does that actually materialize in a written contract so that the board members and community can say, okay, we're not now beholden to Siemens for X millions of dollars and we're on the hook, right? This is a partnership. We're in this, we've absorbed 100K into this project. It might be 1 unit, it might be 5, it might be all 15, right? So where do we get to see that sort of language laid out so that we can agree to that and make people feel comfortable that we're doing the right thing for the schools, the district, the taxpayers?
Sure. So I would say that this agreement is almost big enough so that you couldn't hold us to that it had to be the 15, all of the 15 units.
Mhm.
All of it, this project development letter is really saying that we're going to audit, we're going to do a study on all of them, not that you're going to do all the work with it with us. So we're performing this audit, we're giving you the information for you to decide how many of them you want to either address or not. So there's not a number that you have to.
Okay.
We're not gonna
And-
only engineer one, we're gonna engineer
Right.
15 no matter what.
Yep.
And then you can a la carte that as you please.
And if we are like, we think we want to wait, we don't want to do anything yet, we can come back to you in 9 years
Yeah,
and be like, hey, we want to do all these.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
and we would obviously have to update the
Of
equipment
course, yeah, the
pricing and all
the
that.
price,
but
all
yeah.
that stuff, but yeah.
And I don't want to speak for Siemens, obviously,
Not that that's
but I
what's
think
gonna
if we're like at year 8 or 9, and we're still moving forward with changing these rooftops, I don't think there would be a problem with Siemens extending
No.
that time period.
We are
even longer.
recording this. I'm sorry, can you
That's
speak up?
I mean, seriously, we can do an amendment.
It's not that.
We have a
Yeah.
lot of
You know,
customers.
I
I
just
just think
want-
the 10 years is a
No,
hard
no, no.
fast
What
if
I
we're
just wanna
moving
make sure that-
projects, so.
that I think what Jeremiah was getting at before is that there is this at the very least, we're on the hook for $100,000. I mean, we're gonna be on the hook for more, because they're not gonna last forever, but at the very least, and it's just a question about being able to articulate to the taxpayers when absolutely that $100,000 plus whatever will come to bear in their pockets, right?
But it won't come to
As
bear.
a hit to their pockets.
If you're working it into the project.
Right, it won't come to bear if year 3,
Yeah.
we're beginning to replace units, that's
Yeah.
absorbed into.
Which
the-
we're going.
Well,
to
it will, it will.
We're gonna have to.
It's good, the $100,000 is going to
Yeah,
be
we
rolled
have to
into
get the study
cost,
done no matter what.
right? It's gonna be
Right.
rolled into the cost of any work we do. So it's not like it's not a free $100,000, it's just a risk averse 100,000 and a spread out of 100,000 over another large project, so it doesn't feel like it's, you know.
Yeah.
And we have to do it. At some point.
Do you have anything? To do with the timing.
So I guess my question is, I guess 2 things. If we approve it tonight, to go to the board.
Yeah.
That wasn't my question.
Don't do this again.
Yeah, if we approve it tonight.
Remember?
Well, yeah, all right. Well, if we approve it to go to the board tonight, you're gonna have to present.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, like, where that falls in the agenda tonight, and if you wanna do that tonight.
If you'd like us to, we can. I mean,
The same, the presentation we gave 2 weeks ago
We,
here.
what's that? I don't even know I don't think it's on, what's the agenda?
I know, that's, I'm gonna try.
I think I would suggest this, and I'm gonna say this
It would be a
as a
subcommittee.
I know that we're being recorded, and henceforth, this will be, I don't say this in order to try and, to avoid, information that people deserve, right? I don't know that it's necessarily, I think the whole presentation you guys gave to us last time was detailed, thorough, good, everything about it was great. I think it's a little not to the point, though.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like, people are gonna hear $9 to $15 million and go berserk.
Yeah.
Right? And it's an unavoidable cost. And I don't know if we wanna get into those weeds
Yeah.
this far in advance.
Well,
I think the narrative that I would love to tell anybody is building infrastructure is aging, especially these rooftop units. At some future, it's gonna rain later, not today, but it's gonna rain and it's gonna be bad. And in order to be prepared for that, we must get this engineering study done. That's what we're talking about.
In order to even go up and put a rooftop unit up.
In order to even do it.
Yeah.
Any work, we have to have this done.
Yeah.
That's
and
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless we want a 15,000
why don't we
pound
just
unit falling on
put it
kids.
here? Then during the facilities subcommittee readout, you can
I'll say that.
regurgitate that.
Thank you.
And then if there's any questions, because that's early on,
There's gonna be-
we can invite you
Yeah.
for questions,
Sure.
and then you can just get that way, you're not here all night.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And we're gonna say that we would like to have a vote on that tonight?
Yeah,
Like a full
I'll
board,
make a
right?
motion. Make a motion.
Yep.
I would like to do that.
And then would you, would one or both of you be willing to either A, return if there's further questions, or B, take questions via email and try to respond as best you can, as accurate as you can, as
We will
straightforward as you
come
can?
to every board meeting that you want us
We will
to
sit
do.
there till 10
We
p.m.
should just make a list of the ones you're not.
They're actually all on my calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, we just make a list of the
There's
ones you
cookies
haven't.
right
come
outside.
to.
You guys get mics, dirty mics, don't you? usually?
Sometimes.
Yeah, tonight's different, but,
That's a rare-
We used
Okay.
to, but we had to deal with $100,000.
I know, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but you have to pay it up front. so
We
I don't
got
know.
salads and, we got cafeteria salads and cookies.
she's like, keep spending, the Christmas bills haven't come due yet.
That's right.
All right, so,
All
I'll make a motion to approve, to spend, or, I'm sorry. Well, we have to have the document reviewed, so that's really what we're approving.
Yes, the
Enter into an agreement. We'd have to have,
Development agreement.
project.
so I'll make a motion to have the project development agreement reviewed, by the attorney,
By the attorney.
based upon our approval to move forward
Yep.
with an engineering study,
Pending board approval.
pending the board approval.
And can I add something to that? It's
Uh,
basically the same document we
It
had
is.
last time that was already approved by the attorney. It's just changing.
It's not the
dates
same
and everything.
document.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just,
10 weeks.
we're spending money on
Yeah.
attorneys a lot, and I just figured,
That's a whole different subject.
Yeah.
You probably don't want me to get into.
Yeah.
No.
I did think of my question though before I forget. So, if the question arises, so we have, we're gonna enter into this agreement. Siemens is, if the rooftop unit goes bad, we now have our engineering study. We can now have a quote unquote fast track to putting a new unit on the roof. And the question arises, well, what if company X was gonna have a better cost, but now we're locked into this agreement, right? So how do we answer that question for both the public as well as other board members?
Yeah, so I would think of this as a general contractor, right?
Yeah.
We're project managing and overseeing, so at any point through development, whether it's this year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, we're gonna get multiple bids for all of them. I mean, we can go through the process with you for each one, but it won't be just our sole source, the one company, you know. And if Dan has, or anyone has a preferred vendor or preferred make or model, then, you know, we can spec it to that.
Perfect.
same thing with LED lighting. They brought in multiple contractors to bid on that.
Yeah, okay.
So they did our work.
And I understand that. I just want to refresh for everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have any other
Yeah.
questions.
I'm good. Can I just second Rick's motion? You never got a second on that.
I didn't,
Second.
Oh, did you actually make a motion?
I did,
You
I was interrupted several times.
Sorry, I didn't hear
And
it.
you added
I was a
something, I
witness.
think you had jumped in.
You were a witness to the motion? Okay. So
I questioned
second.
your ability to even make it.
What was
Thank you.
your motion?
I don't remember. It was it
Oh.
was
Review the
pending
contract.
board approval, having the contract, review the attorney to enter into agreement with Siemens to have an engineering study for rooftop units.
Perfect. Second. Any further discussion?
Oh, we had it.
All those in favor?
So I have a question about that motion. If,
Oh, boy. There we
I
go.
know, if
You're gonna
the
have to-
attorney, so if they approve it and the attorney gets, or gives you the go-ahead, does that have to go back to the board or can it get signed from?
No, it'll
No,
be signed.
Do we give
Sign.
Marie the ability
Yep.
to sign it?
This was the same one we did last time.
Well, we have to make a different motion out there. 'Cause
Yeah, so
when we
this
make a
was
motion
really-
for that, then we'll make a motion to have
Yep.
Marie sign it.
This is really just a motion to get it out of this room.
Yeah.
And out there.
This is the emotion to get the motion.
Pre,
Okay. We need to walk out there. Is there any last hanging chads that we need to get out before?
No,
we start?
other than Siemens has started the project tonight at Memorial for the weatherproofing and everything, so that's on its way. Hopefully it'll be done by Christmas. and then we'll start the lighting project. So as soon as we're done
That's
the
the
meeting here, I'm
building
going over to
and
the
Memorial.
envelope?
The
Check
envelope?
this out.
The envelope?
Yeah.
The envelope.
You guys haven't been
I-
here
I
that
used
recently, but we've been talking about the envelope a lot.
Sealing it up.
And what a Christmas present to the district.
Yeah.
Seal the envelope.
Well, they're doing it
Yeah.
early purposely for us, so
Signed,
we can
sealed,
see
and
the
delivered.
savings this year in the weather savings, which is great.
Yeah, this winter.
So that's why they're doing it early.
Oh,
We need to
wow.
have like a.
Oh, wow.
All right,
Love it.
meeting adjourned?